Hi, welcome back. I have saved so many quotes since we last spoke, but the ones that I'm going to read out, I'm going to read two today because we didn't get a quote last week because we didn't get a podcast last week. So we'll get two quotes. The first one this is from Josh Holyfield, and I imagine that he is some sort of coach. He says, the reason you don't have energy to exercise is because you don't exercise. It's a loop. The less you move, the less energy you have, the less you want to move. The only way to break it is to start moving even when you don't feel like it, because the energy comes after, not before. I think this is really, really important because when we get stuck in a little bit of a rut, so when we haven't trained for a couple of weeks, maybe you went on holiday for a couple of weeks, or maybe you had a couple of weeks off because life just got too busy, or maybe you had a couple of weeks off because you weren't well, whatever caused the break, it always feels really hard to get going again. And that is because you've lost the momentum with your exercise. And we have like low motivation, low energy, and it's because we're not moving our body. All we need to do is force it, get it done first, and then it's an energy giver. Like exercise is an energy giver. The amount, like every single day I am at Lift and Glow Gym, and I'm there early morning. The amount of faces that walk in like, oh, I'm tired. And then the amount when they walk out the gym, they're like buzzing and ready for the day. That's because even though exercise is in one way exhausting, it's also an energy giver. It gives you energy. It gives you endorphins. It's so beneficial for how you feel. I even had a girl in this morning who was saying that I basically said to her, you need to have a rest day. Like you've been coming in too much, please have a rest day. And she was like, I know, but if I don't come to the gym in the morning, I feel like I'm just like it's the day's a slog, because she gets so much energy off being in the gym, moving her body, and also being around the girls. That's another element of it. So yeah, like if you are stuck in one of these ruts, like maybe you've just come back off your holiday and it feels hard to do, it's not always going to be that hard. You need to like push yourself through that little sticky bit and allow yourself to pick up the momentum. The other quote that I wanted to read is, I don't normally do two, but I really wanted to read this one as well. And this is for all of you mums who are feeling like, well, it's for anybody who has anyone who relies on them. Like in a way, I do and I don't have people who rely on me. Obviously, I've got Fran who relies on me to feed him and to help look after the house. You know, it's definitely a team effort, but he does rely on me in many ways, as do I on him. The dog relies on me. My team at work rely on me. Family rely on me to help them with certain things. And so I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this has someone or something that, relies on them. I saw something recently that said, neglecting your health is disrespectful to those who depend on you. And I haven't been the same since. This is from Lewis Howes, and I think he actually stole it from someone else or borrowed it from someone else. I really love this idea because a lot of the time, self-care, you might consider it to be selfish. I'm taking time away from my kids to exercise and that doesn't feel good. When really that's not the case. You are taking time for you to exercise or fuel your body or to rest. You're taking time for you to take care of yourself. And that is only going to make you better at every other relationship, okay? I know I'm a better boss when I'm healthy, when I'm well fueled, when I'm well slept, and when I exercise. I know I'm a better wife when I'm well fueled, when I'm well slept, when I exercise. I know I'm a better daughter, a better sister, a better dog mum. She's literally there. I know I'm better at everything. I show up better when I take the time to care for myself. And I am the first person who's guilty of letting things get too busy. If the business needs me, if Lift and Glow needs me, if my team needs me, I'm dropping myself and, I'm losing sleep, or I'm going to work and, push through to get things done. And that's not good in a way, because we should really try and make sure that we are having strong boundaries and making it happen so that we are able to have that time. It's not about finding the time. It's about physically carving it out. You literally have to chisel your schedule bit by bit to make it work for you, especially if you're a mum. Like I can't even comprehend. Obviously, one day I want that to be my reality, but I can't even comprehend what you have to do every day. And like you're constantly pouring out to these gorgeous children and your partner and your colleagues and all of that. And it is important that you take time for you. It's important that you lean on your support system and try and chisel out that time, whether you use your work breaks, whether you use the grandparents or your friends or, you know, aunties and uncles or whatever it is. Try and make sure, you know, train at home with the kids climbing all over you. Get them involved in it. Do what you can do to keep yourself active and keep yourself healthy, because neglecting yourself is disrespectful to the people who rely on you. When I read that, I was like, oh yeah, that I proper resonated with it and I wanted to share it. Okay, so I had a gorgeous holiday, by the way, very, very chilled. We went to, everyone keeps asking where it was because when I put pictures up, they're like, where is that? So it's a place called Calpe. Almost no one I know had been. There was only one lady from the gym who'd been, and she stayed in the same hotel as me and everything. It was literally just a deal on Jet2. I really, really, really needed a break. My nervous system's been up the wall, and I really needed a break, and it was the exact thing that I needed. I literally just put in last minute deals. I put in on the beachfront. I needed a gym. And I put 4-star, and I put those things in and then just went through the big list of hotels. I wasn't actually picky on destination. I wanted the chill vibes and the chill hotel, and a hotel that had all the things that we did. It had a gorgeous healthy breakfast. Me and Fran went like every morning. We were like, wow, this is so cool. It just had everything that we needed, and it was amazing. So it was a place called Calpe, and I really would highly recommend for a very chilled one. It's got an old town, it's got a beachfront. We did a hike. It was just very wholesome, lovely vibes, and I came back feeling lovely and refreshed. I always get excited to come home from holiday, and I always think that that's like a really, I'm really grateful to feel excited to come home from holiday. And I miss doing this. When I didn't do it for a week, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't done it in like a month. Okay, so you've got me now all the way up until my next holiday, which is in September, and I will be here every single week. So let's share a couple of wins from the community. Thank you everyone who filled in the form. First of all, we've got Kylie. Kylie, I am so proud of you, and I hope that you're proud of yourself, because you are demonstrating that life can be hard and life can, you know, be chaotic, but you're chiseling that time out for yourself and making sure that you can handle the busyness and the chaos of life by also taking care of yourself. You're not prepared to neglect yourself in the name of the busyness. So she said this week has been awful at work. We all know those weeks. It's been incredibly stressful, and it's been busy in home life too, with the kids being off school. I've still got my 3 workouts in and made sure I've got my protein in every day. Amazing. I know when you have them hellish weeks, when really, really hard weeks, if you've dropped the ball with yourself, it just feels even worse. Whereas if you can get that space to go to the gym, get that space to go for the walks, get that space to fuel your body well, we feel like we've accomplished like such a hard week. So well done. Really proud of you for that. Nikki had a wedding on Friday, but instead of just like gymming the workout off, she got up early and got it done and got her walk in as well. And she was done by 9 a.m. so that she could get ready and enjoy the wedding. Amazing. So she had a wedding. She knew if she still got up early and took care of herself first, she didn't need to neglect herself because of those plans. She chiseled the time out for herself. Love, 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 love. And then finally, Ashley said she's done 2 workouts since getting back from Ibiza with her partner, and she's came home to a food shop so she doesn't fall off the wagon completely. This is like my biggest hack. When you go on holiday, set yourself up for success, whether that's you're in the airport on the way home or the taxi on the way home, and you book in your food delivery for the next day. Like, even if you don't love food deliveries, even if you're a little bit picky with things, do it. Like, get rid of that little barrier of having the energy to get up and go and get it. Just, if it gets delivered to you, you've got zero excuse. We did like a massive food shop, and I have ate so sensationally, I would say, since coming home, because it was all just, I filled the fridge as soon as I could. Okay, so let's go through some of the struggles. So this one is so common, and I've got to admit, I really struggle with this myself. Okay, so I'm a big girl. I'm a big believer in breakfast. I think as women, we need breakfasts. We require a lot of energy just to live our normal lives, especially being active. And most of the women who don't eat breakfast, from what I see, they either massively undereat, or they massively overeat because they're not managing their energy intake in a well-sustained way. So basically, this person said, I've lost my appetite of a morning and I haven't been hitting my protein goal. I feel as though I can only stomach toast, porridge or fruit. I have set myself a goal to prep the night before yogurt, fruit bowl or overnight Weetabix for the next few weeks. For the next week. Sorry, I just started reading someone else's. So basically, my opinion with regards to breakfast and with any meal is you don't, and this is important for me and important for so many other people who are like me, you don't need to feel like every single meal. You don't need to be starving for every single meal. You don't need to be excited for every meal. You need to fuel your body regardless of how you feel. So personally, if I get a little bit stressed, if I get a little bit overwhelmed, if I'm feeling down in the dumps, I will wait. I don't get excited for food. Not the right food anyway. I would rather sit and eat my chocolate covered pistachios or crisps or, go and get a takeout or, I don't know, comfort eat. I'm all game for those things. But when it comes to like my healthy meals and stuff, I'm just like, oh, I don't want this. And so quite often I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't have appetite, I don't want to eat, but I do it anyway because I know I need to fuel my body, because if I fuel my body, I give my body the right energy that improves my mood. Okay, and so it doesn't matter how busy I am, it doesn't matter how stressed I am, it's a non-negotiable for me to fuel my body. I don't get this right all the time. I am not perfect with any of this stuff that I'm talking about, and you will never be as well. Like, this is always a work in progress. There are a handful of people who are so regimented with what they eat and when they eat and they're fine with it, but my appetite does struggle depending on how I feel. And so I genuinely have to force food down me. And I don't really accept, I don't really have an appetite, and that's not me taking the piss, but I don't have an appetite from myself because it's not me taking care of myself. It's like me saying, don't like the taste of that toothpaste, so I'm not gonna brush my teeth today. I would never fucking do that. Like, I'm always gonna brush my teeth. Or it's like, I just don't feel like having a shower today, so I'm not gonna have a shower. Like, it's a basic part of self-care for you to brush your teeth, get your shower, fuel your body well. And like, I think that you're not expected to feel excited for every single meal. It's like for your workouts, you don't need to be excited to get a good workout in. You don't need to be excited to eat a meal that you have planned for yourself to eat. So I do completely get this, and I massively resonate because a lot of mornings I wake up, and I wake up early. I'm up at 5 a.m, and I'm having my first meal at 6 or between 6 and half 6. Now I've made it so I've played around with all sorts of different things, and at the minute I'm having smoothies at Lift and Glow. So I'm having protein, banana, peanut butter, milk in a shake, and I'll have that. That's my first breakfast, and it goes down easily because it's a drink. And then I have a second breakfast, so it could be like cottage cheese on rice cakes or chicken sausages or a yogurt bowl, and they're like my 3 proper breakfast options. So maybe you start the day with something small and then you bump it up with a second breakfast, and that's what works for me at the minute, because I came back from holiday like, can't bear the thought of eating that early, especially because I've been lying in on holiday and haven't been eating that early. There was like a little bit of a shift, and I needed to try and find a solution, because I wasn't going to accept I just don't have an appetite or I just don't feel like it, because I know the knock-on effect of that won't benefit me in the long run. I won't be hitting my protein. I won't be recovering well from my workouts. That'll affect my mood. That'll affect my ability to perform in the gym. That'll affect my productivity with work, my ability to give good advice or support clients as and when they need. So I get this, but you don't need to feel like it to do it. And you've got to remember that, like, we have to act in alignment with how we want to feel, or we have to act in alignment with how we want to be. So I want to be a healthy, fueled, happy, productive woman all the time. And I want healthy hormones. I want easy menstrual cycles. Like, I want a good life, and so I'm going to have to do some shit that I don't really feel like doing sometimes, and that involves throwing a meal down me from time to time. So I hope that helps, but this is common and I do resonate, but just eat the breakfast anyway. Just do the thing you need to do. Okay, next is, so this was basically, this person had a difficult week, something difficult happened and is happening with her within her family, and she's took a bit of a dark turn. Let's just say she hit a bit of a dip mood, and she's been in a dark space, and she hasn't felt like this in a while. She said that she didn't go to the gym and she didn't prioritize her sleep in the final week of term, and she said she was completely exhausted. Now, first thing is, when you are feeling really, really stressed and really, really exhausted, I do believe that sometimes, like, depending on how bad the stress is, and this is quite a stressful situation, you might need a week off from the gym, and you might need to prioritize sleep, and, you know, that's okay. But make sure you are actually prioritizing sleep. So that is not just skipping the gym. That's like getting to bed earlier as well. So if I know I need to prioritize sleep, so for example, yesterday afternoon, feeling a little bit fried, said to Fran, 8 o'clock, we are getting in bed at 8 o'clock. And he's like, okay. And it's like, I know that I need to get to bed earlier because I can't control when I wake up. And I know a lot of you can't control when you're waking up as well because of kids and stuff. So, you know, if you're stressed, if there's something going on, get to fucking bed at least an hour earlier than what you usually would. Basically, she's feeling awful because her food is not being great. She said the other day she went to the gym and she came home and she had a whole packet of biscuits and a cup of tea for her breakfast. Now, first of all, I'm happy you went to the gym. Obviously, it's not great fuel to come in and have that, but that I do really see this as potentially being a bit of emotional eating, a bit of stress eating, and like you said, a bit of self-sabotage. I've got my holiday on Thursday. I haven't lost any fat. I hate every photo I see of myself, and I just don't understand how I've been consistent with the gym for 17 months but still keep sabotaging myself with my diet. Okay, so you're down about yourself, you're feeling frustrated. Whenever we have these negative spirals, and those negative spirals impact how we eat, that does impact how we see ourselves. And this, again, doesn't just happen to you, it happens to me, it happens to everyone. And it's like this feeling that we get is like, I know I haven't looked after myself, I know I haven't shown up for myself, and you feel like you can physically see that in the mirror. A lot of the time there's been zero change in you in the mirror, it's just more a perception, like a self-image, self-perception type thing. I really want to be proud of myself all the time, but that doesn't mean that all the time I show up in a way that makes me proud. And so I get frustrated just like you do when you have these times where it does feel really, really hard. The thing that gets me back to it is basically just giving my head a little bit of a wobble and being like, right, this behavior is not acceptable. It is not making me feel better. Yes, we're going through something that's a little bit shit and very, very stressful, but that doesn't excuse the fact for me to not look after myself, because all I'm doing, remember me saying a couple of weeks ago about when you choose to sit in the pit gets deeper and it gets harder and harder to pull yourself out of. That is basically self-sabotage. So when something bad happens and we fall into this pit and we're like, oh, something, you know, this is really stressful, this is really hard, so I'm going to pop all my tires and comfort eat, and I'm gonna skip the gym, and I'm gonna stay up late, and I'm gonna drink alcohol, and all these things. We're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the pit, and we feel worse because all of our behaviors are aligning with someone who we don't want to be and someone who we don't feel proud of. And the only way to like claw yourself out of the pit is to start doing things that you know will make you feel proud of yourself. All it takes is one day, it takes one meal for you to feel good. And like, I know that for a fact, because I'll maybe have a day where I've ate a bit of chocolate and had a takeaway and been like, oh, Hayley, you went a little bit far there. If I wake up the following day and I have a nice, nutritious breakfast, I'm like, that felt good. We literally get dopamine, we literally get serotonin from eating nutritious foods and making choices that align with us being healthier and happier. It's doing the hard thing, that's how we get dopamine. And so I think with this, you've sat in the pit in the nicest way possible, and you know, it's okay. That does happen from time to time. But how can you be one of these bouncy balls where when something happens, when something shit happens, you just like come back from it quickly? So like, you know, we all take beatings, we all take like bad things. And I feel like the girls in the gym said to me, a few weeks ago, basically the ceiling was falling down in the gym. It was very dramatic. Ceiling was falling down. And when Sammy rang me to tell me, I just laughed. And she was like, oh, I was expecting you to cry. And I was like, I know, but I think I've just become more resilient, like just throughout life, because I've forced myself to be like, right, okay, it's solvable, bounce back. This thing that you're going through, okay, it's stressful, but you stressing about it isn't going to solve it. You like sitting there scrolling, you like, you know, worrying or just thoughts bouncing around your brain. The only thing that you're doing is making yourself less happy, more frustrated. And then that turns into sabotaging behaviors. When something happens, when you're told news, when something happens, when your fucking roof falls down, when you have a leak in the house, you can either lose your shit and lose sleep over it, or you could be like, is anyone going to die? Okay. So what is the next step that I can take? Like, we really need to try and be like, right, is this... this is stressful, don't get me wrong, but solving it like is not going to happen by like getting all stressed about it. You need to be proactive, be like, right, okay, what do I need to do? What's something productive that I can do right now? And I can assure you that 11 p.m. or, you know, whatever time that you're stressing about it is, you're not going to find a solution. And so try and, you know, see if we can come up with a solution. And if we can't, put it to bed until you can. And I know that that's much easier said than done, but this does come with practice. I'm now very good at being told something stressful, catastrophic or whatever, and I'm like, right, okay, logically, what am I able to do? Don't get me wrong, I have a cry, I have a meltdown, but the pit doesn't get mega deep because I don't allow it. And I'm like, listen, you know, it might be shit, this might be stressful, but you can still get your workout in. It might be shit, it might be stressful, but that's not helped by nailing a full pack of biscuits. It might be shit, it might be stressful, but you don't need to down a bottle of wine because of it. That is not going to help. Instead, the best thing that you can do when life is hard is to pour into yourself. It's to take care of yourself, because when you don't, it just gets worse. And then this like self-loathing and this lack of like, you know, positive self-image comes in. We kind of want to feel like Kylie, where she's been getting shit fired at her from all sides, but still gone to the gym, still managed her protein. And so, you know, and that Kylie feels better for that week. That was her win, even though it was a fucking carnage of a week. So you can do this. You've stuck at the gym for 17 months, which is great. You've built real consistency, and I think you should be really proud of yourself for that. Nutrition is harder, and I'm not going to bullshit anyone. I truly believe nutrition is harder, because going to the gym for 1 hour a day or 3 times a week for 1 hour is much easier than controlling everything that you eat all day, every day. And food is very closely linked to stress, emotions, and so we really need to get better at noticing our emotions, noticing how we feel, and then finding more productive, more positive outlets for it. So can you just sit and do 10 big deep breaths? If you're like, I need biscuits when I'm home from the gym, be like, okay, get your tea, get your cup of tea, like sit with it on your chest and do 10 big deep breaths. If you still want the biscuits after the 10 deep breaths, then have a couple. But you'll make a better decision when you're calm. We need to every single person in the whole world needs to realize that we are in control of how we feel so much, and we have the most amazing tool walked around with us all day, every day, and it is our breath. It is just the ability to breathe. And if you sit calm and breathe for 10 breaths, you will make better decisions, you will think more logically, and use that tool. Okay? So don't get down about it. Don't get frustrated with yourself. We just need to start using the tools that you have available, and really start to remember that. Try and notice when you're getting into the pit and claw yourself out quickly, rather than it being a week or 2 weeks. Having a bad day, all good. But can we stop that day turning into 2 days, turning into 3 days, turning into a week, 2 weeks? Like, let's make sure we claw ourselves out quickly. Okay. 'Cause, 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 Next questions. I've been struggling for a few weeks with an aching stiffness type of pain in my right ankle near my Achilles. It is worse when I haven't moved for a bit. So for example, first thing in the morning, it's hard to get downstairs without limping. It then eases throughout the day. It's not sore for the most part, just if I've been stationary for an hour or so-ish. Do you have any advice? I appreciate you're not a physio or a doctor, but I just wondered if it was a common thing from weight training, or if you could be doing something wrong in any of the movements. So I think there's a few things. Have you been walking a lot more? If so, you might be walking in shoes that aren't great for you. So basically, I had a very, very similar thing from running, and it turns out that I was wearing the wrong shoes, wasn't warming up enough properly, and just didn't have enough strength in my calf. So if you've been walking a lot more, but you're not walking in shoes that are right for you, then this could be a reason. I am not a physio and I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't go to a doctor about this, but I would go to a physio about this. I like strength training, anything low impact. I can't see how it would cause this unless you are like lifting weights, doing leg day in running shoes, and so that's affecting your gait a little bit. It's making you a bit unstable, and if that's the case, then start lifting with no shoes on for leg day anyway. So that's another solution that you could use. But I would go and see a physio. If this hasn't got better yet, then go and see a physio. I've been struggling with the cable lateral raise exercise. The machine goes from 1.25 to 3.75. The first one feels too easy and the second is way too hard. I can only get about 3 or 4 reps. Any recommendations for this? Okay, so in the gym, you will have small 1.25 plates. So they're called fractionals. So on the rack where people do squats or where you've got your deadlifts, look for small fractionals. You can get 1.25 and 2.5. I think you need 1.25. Mind you, that would still make it, no, that would make it 2.5. So put the pin from the cable machine through the plate, through the middle of the plate into the stack. Okay. If you don't know what I mean, let me know. I did a video on this ages and ages ago. I'll try and find it. If not, I might send you someone else's video. But basically, just adding that 1.25 to the pin into the stack will help you with the jump up. And this goes for any exercise, girls. So if you're struggling to go up on your cable rows or your cable kickbacks or anything like that, you can use those small plates, put the pin through the middle of the plate and like balance it on the edge and then into the stack. Very, very good question, because you definitely are not the only one struggling with that. Okay. Sorry. I've moved from home workouts to gym and I'm definitely enjoying the change, but I miss the guided warm-ups and cool down stretches. I have the cool down memorized from doing it so many times, but the warm-up used to change a lot. So basically, you all have access to the warm-up. It lives within the app. All you need to do is add an exercise and then search warm-up, and that will take you will find the video to take you through a guided warm-up. When you're in the gym, your warm up, the mobility routine is great. And I do think that we should be doing that. We do it every single time at Lift and Glow. But you're warming up with lifting. So for example, if I give you 4 sets of squats, you're going to do a set before that to make sure that you're warm and have like dialed in the movement a little bit. So that's like your warm-up set, and then set 1 was still technically warming up because you're not at a weight that feels really, really challenging yet. So again, that's another warm-up, and then you've got 3 heavy working sets. So a warm-up at home is very different to in the gym. The reason that I haven't, given specific warm-ups for everything is because your warm-up sets are within your lifts. And so I'm pretty sure it does say that in the description to do like 1 or 2 warm-up sets first and then start your working set. And if you're not doing that, then definitely start doing that. But if you do want the mobility routine, like the warm-up mobility routine and the cool down stretch, just add an exercise and search warm-up or cool down and it'll take you through, and you can do it step by step with me. After doing Bulgarian split squats, my knees were really sore this week. I sink back as far as I can, as in my thigh is on the top of my calf. Am I doing something wrong? I haven't struggled with it much before, so I don't know if it's the combination of walking lunges on the workout on one workout and Bulgarian split squats on another. It's a very, very leggy block, this block. Also, random question. Hang on, let's just answer this one first. So, if you're getting knee pain, this could be a number of different things. So this could be that you've got like tightness somewhere along the chain. So it could be coming from your hamstring or your hips. And it might not necessarily be coming from that exercise, but it could be being aggravated by the exercise. So you might have either a bit of weakness or a bit of tightness in your hamstrings, hips, glutes, those types of things. So make sure that you try a little bit of a stretch and see if any of those things ease it. You said that you are going mega deep in your Bulgarians to where your thigh is touching your calf. Maybe don't sit quite as low and see if that helps. I mean, I do love a deep lunge, I love a deep squat, I'm all for it, but if your knees are feeling tender, it just might be hard, like take a step back from going that deep until it feels like it's resolved a little bit. And then the final thing is footwear. So if you are, and this happens a lot, if you're lifting, doing your lunges, doing your Bulgarian split squats, and you're doing them in running shoes or shoes that are not flat or shoes that don't let your feet spread out, this could happen. And we want to make sure that we're not like pushing into certain edges of the feet and being like out of balance. I really much prefer doing all lower body exercises without a shoe on, so that I can like plant my foot, spread my feet, and push through all four corners of my foot and make sure I really, use my feet as well. Like your feet have got muscles in, your feet are going to carry you around for the rest of your life. Like we really need to strengthen them, in a lot of shoes either wind them up too tight or a bit too unstable. So try this shoeless and see if it helps as well. Random question, is it okay to add an exercise to a workout? I absolutely love the incline leg press, but I don't get to use it on the current workouts. Can I add it in somewhere, or is that not recommended? No, don't add it in. All exercises will go through cycles of, and just because you like an exercise doesn't mean, you could do that exercise every single week, but I would be swapping it out for something else. Like you're wanting to work the same muscle group as what I'm already working for elsewhere in the program. So in the program, you've got your Bulgarian split squats, you've got your walking lunges, and like those work those same muscle groups. And so, I don't want to make you mega sore. I want you to get the most out of the movements that I have programmed for you. So I would prefer it if you didn't add in this exercise. I know you like it, but it will come back. There's no way that it's gone forever. We are just choosing to focus more on single leg stuff at the minute. And everything has a time for us to work on it. So I know you love it, but doesn't mean you need to do it all the time, and it will come back. So I would prefer you didn't. I don't think you need to. You can choose to ignore that advice if you really want to and you're desperate to do them, but you are working those muscle groups already. And maybe if you did really, really want to do it because you're desperate to do it, swap it out for the quad exercise, like the squatty exercise that is in that workout. Okay, I only have drink. Oh, sorry. This is about habits. If you see habits drop off your account, so if you're on your app and you can only see 1 or 2 habits, send me a WhatsApp straight away and I'll add them for you, rather than using it for check-ins, because I'll add them there and then. It's not like a labor intensive task for me to do. So whenever your habits do drop off, first of all, that means that you've been consistent for a long time, and second of all, just send me a WhatsApp to let me know that they've dropped off and I will add them for you straight away. Okay, girlies, that is us done. Thank you so much for listening. It feels good to be back. It feels good to feel refreshed. And yes, if you need me for anything, make sure you let me know. Please rate, review, comment, send this podcast to a friend, send it to someone who you think it would help. If you are wanting to join the community, there are 2 ways that you can do that. The first way is you can join the online membership. You can join that at any time, whenever you fancy. And that basically includes calorie target, habits to tick off each day, be part of the community, be part of the Q&As, and then also workouts, so you'll get a training program suited to you and your goal. And then the other way to join us is the gym. The gym is full at the minute. I am filling spaces as they come up from the waitlist. The waitlist has an insane amount of people on it at the moment. But don't let that put you off joining, because quite often I'll send emails out to everyone and it's like first who responds, who gets the spaces. So do get on the waitlist if you are wanting to join us at the gym in Muggle. Have a gorgeous week. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon.